Welcome to a Delco Nerd Network podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Ragucci, and here with a few friends in the Delaware County area, we get in a basement and we talk about a certain topic. Today's topic is going to be a retrospective on Assassin's Creed. Here to talk, as always, my co-host, back again. The coronavirus can't stop this podcast. Chris Trio.
Gooch, how are you?
I didn't mean to move away from you, but that was pretty funny.
Dude, I noticed things like I saw Nick in Acme. Nick Matarazzo.
Oh.
I'm sorry if I said the name wrong.
Matarazzo, yeah.
Matarazzo. And I saw him and I was like, hey, Nick, how's it going? He started walking up towards me. And just, I don't know why, instinctively, I backed up. I was like, hey, Nick, how's it going? Not because it was Nick, but just because it was another person.
Yeah,
and this was like,
he lives in Westchester.
This was at like the height of like the shit like
that's funny.
Weeks ago, and I was like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like that that's just ingrained now. That's not good.
I mean,
that's weird.
Realistically, before we get into this podcast, we have a lot to catch up on because we have barely spoken a word.
Yeah, I haven't really been on the multiplayer stuff on Xbox as much, so we haven't had a chance to chat.
Yeah, I'm sure you've been playing and watching and doing a lot.
Definitely.
In the realm of, doing things in your house that we talk about.
You start off first, though. I want to hear what you've been up to.
Been playing a lot of Fallout 76.
Okay.
Jumping in that Wastelanders DLC. It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's all right. But added more achievements, and I've been getting back in there, leveling, doing some dailies. It really feels like a Red Dead Online kind of experience. For sure. And I feel like if that game was out before 76, I feel like it would have been probably a better game because I think that games as a service really it just didn't understand like what it needed to be.
Sure.
But I feel like Red Dead Online is like a great model for like what it's like.
Definitely.
Not like super open world, but like your small open world MMO-ish type game.
Definitely. And it is interesting because I feel like there are a few things Red Dead Online could actually learn from Fallout 76. Duh. Yeah. And like some of the player economy stuff I really liked that we logged on for a little bit. I logged on with Gooch for the free play weekend. I didn't really jump back in. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I feel like probably what got people so pissed off was that it was a $60 entry fee, whereas Red Dead Online was like, hey, this is in beta and it's attached to your single player game, which kind of puts it at a little bit more of an advantage, I guess. But that's interesting to hear. That's kind of on that same level.
I mean, tons of other games. RE3, Final Fantasy 7, which we have reviews on out. Go check them out.
Yep.
Thanks for Phil for coming on for our 2 Corona
reviews. Yeah, we appreciate it. We need the peeps.
Phil will definitely be back because I owe him one. I felt so bad we had to do that, and I was just like, oh man.
Is he in the area? Could we actually do one with him?
Yeah, Phil's in Stratford.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It was just.
Of course, it's Rona.
Right.
Miss Rona.
What else? Jump back into Sekiro. I've been going for the trophies in that. Apex seasons come out. I finished all the achievements, went back to Outer Worlds, played that a little bit, realized, this is a very just okay game.
Yeah, it really is.
Went back to it and I was just like,
it's fine.
Yeah, it's a game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I jumped into a new RPG that came out like in 2008. It's called Lost Odyssey that I've been meaning to play for years. It is actually the first backwards compatible game I played on Xbox.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I've been playing that. That's been a lot of fun. It's by the makers of the original devs for Final Fantasy. They broke off, kind of made a new studio, and not all of them, some of them. And they kind of made a game within the Final Fantasy vein. It's just not Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Not the title.
All right.
But it's pretty cool. What else? If there's anything else game-wise, because I got plenty of other shit to talk about.
Sure.
Nah, that's kind of
it. Really it. Major things.
I mean, we're kind of in a somewhat of a would you call it a drought right now?
Yeah.
In a way. I mean, like
we were
getting
supposed to have a few games right now, weren't we? Am I misremembering?
Last of Us is coming out in a non-coronavirus timeline. Last of Us would be coming out next weekend.
Would it have?
Yeah.
So that was the reason that got shifted in or that's the assumed reason?
No, that's why.
That is interesting. Yeah, so I don't know. I agree.
And then,
I think there's a bit of a drop.
push Ghosts of Tsushima back, which
That's
would have been in June. But I mean, those are the next 2 games, and then it's nothing for a while.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to?
A lot of replaying and stuff like that. I haven't played a ton of new stuff. And rewatching even. So Meredith and I have been watching Star Wars. We watched the original ones because she's only seen A New Hope. And we're watching the whole time. It was good. She enjoyed it. She was like, yeah, they're good. Like they're not so like she was glad she could say she saw them. But it was funny because we were at the end and she's like, Darth Vader was kind of a bitch. I was like, what? She's like, well, he kind of does like I'm always hearing about how like big of a bad guy he is and all this and like he's the baddest dude ever. And then like he kind of turns in one scene and I was like, yeah. And it kind of made me go like, yeah, I guess you're kind of like, we're always told how badass Darth Vader is, and I guess we don't see it besides the time maybe in Rogue One when he really goes off. Yeah. But it was an interesting point, and it was cool to get that kind of outside perspective in. And then we started the prequel trilogy with Phantom Menace, and she was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, she's like,
you watch them.
We're watching them how they came out.
Order.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was really fun. I've been jumping back into Jedi Fallen Order as well.
With the new update.
Yeah, the new like arena stuff has been really cool.
Keep talking.
I'm out here. I just lost my train of thought. So they added in a bunch of new stuff. So you can play the game over with all your cosmetics if you want. It's not New Game Plus in the way of like you have all your abilities, because that I guess would game break because you could get into areas earlier without.
I know you have all the items like
your cosmetic
up chests and stuff.
And you can go through and find the ones that you missed as well. And then you get Inquisitor Cal, which that skin's really cool, and the red lightsaber crystal. Just a fun reason to jump back in. Even like as I'm playing the arena, I was realizing things like I didn't know that I could do this like this. So when the frog shoots his tongue out at you,
can hold it and cut it.
I didn't know that.
The game doesn't really explain it too well.
No, it doesn't. And I will say, but like I was like, because these are really hard. But then as I was going through and like realizing these certain techniques to like beat it, I was like, oh, these are a lot easier than I realized.
I wouldn't go back unless they added a trophy to
like finish the game again or something.
Yeah, on New Game Plus.
For sure.
I wouldn't go back.
But that's been a lot of fun. We also, Meredith and I replayed Bioshock Infinite, because she wanted to play that, which was an interesting
Should you play 1 first?
No, so she played that. She wanted to play Infinite again. She kind of knew the story, but she had never played it all the way through. So we did that. That was cool. I finally watched Knives Out a little while back. Movie. That was awesome.
Right.
What was his name? What's Daniel Craig's character's name in that?
Shit.
LeBlanc or something?
Benoit LeBlanc?
Yes.
Maybe?
Anyways, Daniel Craig needs to be in more things. He's awesome in that. Definitely check that out if you haven't already. What else have I been watching? Westworld, which we'll talk about shortly after this.
Yeah. I'm on the new. I've watched a ton of Batman animated series. I'm not sure the last time we had a podcast that coronavirus. Yeah, I was into it, but I'm now on like the new Adventures of Batman, which is like the last season technically,
Gotcha.
And I've seen Mask of the Phantasm and Sub-Zero, and they were awesome, especially Mask of the Phantasm.
Mask of the Phantasm's awesome.
It's so good.
I didn't watch. I actually watched that last year when I was at my brother's house sitting for him, and I was like, wow, this is good. I didn't watch it like in. So did you watch it timed correctly with the show, or does that fit into the show somewhere?
It really doesn't, because it's a prequel and a going at the same time. It really fits anywhere.
Sure.
So I finished the first 2 seasons, and then before I finished, went to the new Adventures of Batman. I watched that and Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is definitely at the end.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yeah. That's
it definitely caps.
Like it's the bookend.
Right, to that original. And then they jump into the new stuff. It's the new Batsuit. Batgirl is
the new. It's like the new Adventures of Batman or something, right?
So Tim Drake is Robin. They skip Jason Todd. Tim Drake is I think the first episode or the second episode? Second episode.
Interesting.
So it's funny. Tim Drake is in the first episode, but they show him becoming Robin in the second episode.
That's funny.
But Batgirl's still in it. And I'm almost done. And then after that, Superman. So wait, you've seen Green Lantern, the animated series?
Yes.
When should I watch that? Should I watch it after Justice League? Or?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was actually made in like the late 10s.
Really?
2010. I want to say something. Yeah, that was pretty, because that was all. It's all computer generated. It's not the same way as like it's. Funny.
Somebody said that to me, and I'm like, nah,
I think
it's
I might
Bruce
have
Timm thing.
I think I might have said but it is his art style, but 3D animation.
Should I watch it?
I think. I mean, I think so. I think it's a fun show.
But Justice League before.
Yeah, for sure. I
Okay,
think if you want to go chronologically anyways.
Yeah,
I guess
I'm kind of trying to follow the DCA.
Because I'm pretty sure the animated Green Lantern series does not fit in anywhere to any of that. It's just kind of its own thing.
It is its own thing. It doesn't fit in.
It doesn't seem to... at least, I don't know. Maybe you'll watch it and you'll be like, oh, it does fit in here, but I don't believe it does.
And then after that, Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
Cap it off.
Dude.
Finish it up.
There it is.
And then I'll probably... Like, I haven't seen the Fantastic Justice League versus the Fantastic Four, Fantastic Five. Whatever.
The Fatal Five.
Fatal Five.
Yeah. Did you see Gods and Monsters?
No.
Is that? I'm trying to.
It's not part of the DCA.
If I'm getting
I don't think, or DCAU.
The title right. That's like the one where Superman Zod's.
I don't know which one it is, but I know what you're talking about.
And Batman is Man. That one's really good. Actually, that one's awesome. What else have I been watching? Yeah, just a lot of nothing really new. I will say.
So I watched Stargirl came out today.
Oh yeah, pretty good.
It's good.
I heard
it looks good.
Well, it looks like it's kind of committing to that campiness in a way.
It's
some
really
ways,
not campy.
Really?
I mean, the JSA, they look like the JSA, but I love how they call them the JSA.
Yeah, they are the Justice Society.
From the get-go, JSA. Yeah. Like they abbreviate it, and I'm like,
here we are.
I like
They're
that.
here. Yeah,
I like that.
And so it does. That's gonna play on CW, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which honestly, I think that's the way to go.
Well, they're phasing out DC Universe.
Put it on the app first.
Yeah.
Show it on the CW. The production value is like Doom Patrol, Swamp Thing level. I think on CW it'll do pretty well because it looks a lot better than the Flash and Arrow.
Well, dude, even and
Legends.
So Swamp Thing is going to be on the CW now too. I'm so happy that that's getting more eyes on it, regardless of what happens. But like
Harley Quinn's on Sci-Fi.
Yeah,
they must have made a deal.
I think they did, and I'm curious if they're going to keep DC Universe around to, like you're saying, show it earlier on there for if you want to pay a little extra. And then you can see it whenever with commercials.
Yeah, I mean, HBO Max comes out in like a fucking 2 weeks. Like, what are they doing with DCU?
Well, so they're doing... Well, now Doom Patrol is going to be on HBO Max, right? Did you see that? Yeah.
I guess there's no way. They're going to have to be like, yo, if you're on this app, like, we'll phase you over into HBO Max.
Or I think they're just going to be like, listen, we're not going to put... I don't know how they... Yeah, I don't know how the rights would work if they'd let them put it on DC Universe Online and HBO Max.
Maybe it's on both. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. And then like there's the Green Lantern show that they're doing on there too, which I'm excited about. Yeah, there's a lot of good things in the pipeline. A lot of things got slowed down. Did you see that thing with Robert Pattinson where he's like, no, I do. I think he is.
I don't even know what to think about that.
I think he is.
I want to go to the gym. I wish I was him.
I think he's of the master troller though. I really do because apparently he told like when he was in the middle of Twilight. He was like, I used to, I just don't shower so that way when fans come up to me, they don't want to smell. And then a while back too, he was like, what's his name he was talking about the Lighthouse, and he's like, Willem Dafoe was using this like pirate voice, and I think I'm going to use that for my Batman voice. And like, there people are running this for the headlines. I'm like, he is fucking with everyone so hardcore, and I kind of love it. But I thought that was just an interesting little weird tidbit.
I guess to cap it off, I mean, we watch Westworld, we'll talk about it. All the CW shows finished early, obviously.
And you said Flash was tough.
Was a fucking mess. It's just like you could tell like
they weren't ready to finish.
So they did the second half of the season was Mirror Master. They introduced a second Mirror Master who instead of
is it his sister?
It's McCulloch's sister. No, it's McCulloch's wife. So it's Eva McCulloch, but the other guy is something McCulloch. Yeah. It's that. It's the second Mirror Master. And it's pretty cool. Yeah. But like, and they had this Godspeed thing going on, which they didn't like fully explain. And I'm like, that got cut because that was totally. Because like where the season ends, like Mirror Master's arc kind of finishes, and the last few episodes was going to tee up what is going to happen, because they still never explained why Godspeed was there. Yeah. They never explained it, and I was just like, ugh.
Did you read that arc ever, The Flash?
No, not yet.
It's interesting.
Supergirl finished up fine. Legends is still going. Batwoman finished up pretty okay. I'm trying to think if there's one other show or not. No.
Black Lightning? What's that?
Black Lightning finished a while ago. Gotcha. Way before Corona. But I'm Legends I'm curious about, because I'm not sure where they finished, but it's just like...
This is going to be their last season, right?
No. It should be. Yeah. It should be. Legends is like, ugh. This season has just been like, it's not keeping me at all.
Yeah.
It's not keeping me at all.
Yeah, it's funny. I guess I find a lot in general now with most network TV shows, I have trouble like staying on the week to week, like the villain of the week thing. Like every time, I really
funny. Like Flash has really gotten away from that.
They have. That's good to hear. Actually,
yeah.
it's
I
more
mean,
like
they do it. Of
sure.
course, they have to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a thing for them. I mean, Arrow did it at a time.
Oh no, exactly.
But like,
that's
Legends really doesn't do it. They did. I mean, they usually every week is like what time period we're going to.
Of course,
not necessarily.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but
it's
like
time period of the week, not monster of the week or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's always like some sort of thing, but it's just like Legends needs to end. And I guess like Stargirl just started, but like it's not a CW show.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
Yeah.
Like as soon as that show starts, you're like, this ain't a CW
well, dude,
show.
even on like fucking once they put Swamp Thing on there, like the production quality versus like that and like your flashes and stuff,
like people are gonna
that's jarring.
Right,
like, it
really is
insane. And I'm curious like what's gonna get cut up because were those. I can't remember. Were those 45-minute episodes or were they 50 minutes?
What?
The Swamp Thing episodes. Because if they were 50? An hour, I thought they were closer to an hour. Because if they're an hour, they have to cut things to like fit it to.
Right.
I'm curious how much the body horror. And I won't go off on a tangent. Yeah, I'm trying. Anything else?
They curse a lot on that show. Too.
Yeah, that's like a pretty like.
They probably had to edit it.
No, for sure.
I don't know.
I'm curious how much of like the body horror stuff we'll get in from like the first couple episodes. But yeah,
maybe
anything
you
else?
Rewatch it.
No, I think I might.
Anything else? I rewatched the original Tron over the weekend because I'm doing my video essay on Tron.
How was that?
You know, it's not bad. It's not great.
No,
it's kind of like it's not. I wouldn't even say it's fun.
Yeah,
it's just it's a very interesting movie, and I'm trying to struggle. I'm like, what the fuck do I even say about this movie? Like, it's cool. It's really cool to see how they tried to do. Okay, so I did some research.
Yeah.
Tron is the first movie to do 3D CGI on that level.
Oh, really?
First movie. And guess what was the only two before it? The original Westworlds.
Oh, wow.
There's Westworld and there's Future World.
Yeah.
How nuts is that?
That is nuts.
I'm like, wow.
That is crazy.
I would have never, like, now that I know that, like, that's a fun fact. And,
that
like,
is a good fact.
You can tell, like some of the acting is kind of weird. Like, I think Jeff Bridges does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Like, and I think all the actors do a pretty good job. It's just kind of like, you can tell, like, they were on a set and then nobody had ever done this before and they really didn't know what to do.
They were just kind of figuring it out
some
as
of the
they go
weird
along.
action scenes are, like, very, like, I don't know.
Just
like,
imagine.
Like really... Like, I give them a lot of props because it doesn't look half bad. You can tell they really like committed to this idea of like, this isn't anything. You're in a fucking computer, and like you look like you're in a fucking computer.
Sure.
And you know, and the parts that are in real life are pretty good. And actually, I didn't see it before Legacy. I watched it a while ago as a kid.
Yeah. And
a lot of stuff actually connect to Legacy that I didn't even realize.
Really?
Because like the guy who codes Tron, his name's Alan, and he is in Legacy too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't even fucking
you
realize.
You didn't know this reference. Yeah.
Yeah. Like they reference it a lot, and I really appreciate when things do that, even though a lot of people probably didn't see the original Tron.
Yeah, it is interesting because that is definitely like a movie like this.
Oh, nobody's seen
that no one has seen, and that you can find that's like that second one is definitively better. Just because of technology.
What a snubbed movie. God, I love that movie.
Dude, Tron Legacy is really awesome. And I do think it's visually thrilling and just an interesting story.
And a lot of people give a lot of shit for like the CGI for de-aging.
Yeah.
I was about to say Kevin Spacey. What the fuck's his name?
Jeff Bridges. Yeah.
Jeff Bridges, and I'm just like, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not
especially
that
for the
bad.
time, but it is something it's like that's the thing that you like commit to it if you can do it. But I do think I don't know. You're right. For the time, it's fine. But I do love that movie a lot. Like just the whole look of it, the production design, the music.
Dude, you know what?
It
there
all
was a
does
few
really
times where like I was watching it and the music from Legacy like went onto my head because like they say end of line a lot.
Yeah.
And that's a name of a song. And it would like MCP, like when he's done talking, he goes end of line. Like it's just
end of line.
It's just so cool. Like I don't know, there's something about it.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to watch Legacy again. I haven't watched it in 4K yet.
There was like a rumor I feel like a couple years back where they were thinking about doing another one, but then it kind of got canned.
Lame, dude.
It does suck.
They should do another one.
I think they could do it really cool.
Disney doesn't know what they fucking have half the time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anything else on your end? I know it's seriously, it's been a while, and like
I know.
I forgive anyone who's listening who's like, oh, when are they going to be done talking? Like, skip ahead a little bit if you want.
But this will be a bit of a change. I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed.
Oh wow, what a segue,
Slick.
Trio.
Yeah, no, I don't. So I had this weird itch to go back through and play a bunch of Assassin's Creed.
Was it because I triggered you with my video essay?
No, a little bit. I wanted to. I mean, I did throw out my computer after I beat it with a hammer, but that was only because of watching your video.
Yeah. So shameless plug. I've been working on another video essay for a while, and it's called "Forgetting the Odyssey," and it's essentially talking about how from Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed Odyssey, how Ubisoft has really just forgotten what it was. And they're like, I'm not saying Odyssey is a bad game, and I don't say that in the video essay, but I'm just saying like it is a totally unrecognizable game. Like just from 1 to this, and now Valhalla, which we knew what was coming out, but I by the time of writing that essay, it wasn't a thing. But it's not really relevant anyway.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah,
and I saw that, and I do think you do make some pretty valid points. But I also do think after playing from Assassin's Creed 2 to Unity straight, and then I skipped Syndicate because that's kind of like the same type.
And I was gonna say, are you gonna play Origins and Odyssey again?
And I started Origins, and I don't think there's as big of a disconnect as you argue, especially going through these games in the way of the themes and stuff like that. But I just kind of wanted to do a retrospective. I'm not even here to argue that with you because it is what it is.
I'm sure it'll come up. And, and like you're probably right to a degree, but you're also like playing the game all together. Mm-hmm. So like I don't know if that affects anything because like that's not how you would have normally played.
Of course,
right?
No,
so
yeah,
you're going through this through line that you're on. Your train isn't derailing or stopping.
Of course,
it's just going.
Especially with I'm skipping all the kind of ones there. I was like, and even like I didn't play. I played a sequence of Black Flag. I was like, I get it. I remember how this plays. Like I get it. And so I guess let's start with Assassin's Creed 2.
So you didn't play 1?
Or no, I didn't play. Well, because I guess I could have. I didn't think about that. I was going to, but I was like...
1, I would, you've told me it hasn't aged well, and I would probably agree.
I think it really... The thing that doesn't age well with 1, and I played... The last time I played this was a while ago, is the movement.
But you replayed AC a lot more than I have.
Oh, for sure.
A lot more.
No, I played this AC2 run-through was probably like my
You've done it way more than a few times.
Yeah, no, for sure. And... There is something about this series that is so cool, and I know a lot of people don't love the futuristic stuff. I know me and you are more on that camp of like we like that kind of dual setting, right. And that really does throughout these games you see become just totally phased out. But Assassin's Creed 1, what was like a moment in that game that you remember being like, "This, I want more of this shit." Like I really do.
I think when I got to the end,
I think I was gonna say the exact same thing.
When not like not Almoallen like going bad, but like once Altair like picks up the piece of Eden and he's kind of like revealed to this like wider world, and you get out of the Animus and the game's done and you just walk around and you use Eagle Vision and you see all these symbols and you're like, oh what shit. The fuck
did I just see?
It's like any conspiracy nut is like, holy shit. Yeah. Like, because that's what I did. I started looking up videos and like this isn't 2007.
Right when it came out.
So like I'm looking at shit like what is this?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
What does the symbol go to?
And I'm like trying to like correlate like what this could all mean, and it like blew my mind. That was like a few days I spent like looking over videos and like researching like symbols and stuff and like what this could all mean. That was the moment where I was like, I'm in on Assassin's Creed.
For sure. Yeah, I think that I can only echo that in the way of like, you see that shit, you're just sitting there like, what did I just witness? What is going on? Where is this going to go? And then I remember that whole year, I'm like, is there ever going to be an Assassin's Creed 2? It's funny to think that it only took 2 years for the new one to come out after that, because it was 2007 then 2009 if I'm remembering correctly.
It doesn't fucking feel like it.
No, it does, because like it's weird. Because I remember being like, "Man, are they even gonna make a second one?
Right.
What's going on?"
I remember like finishing. I'm like, "Fuck, dude, I need another."
And then they fucking, dude, those cinematic trailers. The one with Ezio,
and they stopped them.
No, they didn't.
They kind of did, in my opinion. I don't think
they didn't do one for Origins, but they did one for. I'm sorry, they did one for Origins, but not
Black
Odyssey.
Flag. They don't hit as hard.
No, they don't. I would agree with that.
2, fuck.
Even Black Flag.
3,
I guess Black
fuck. Like dude, they all just hit you in the.
I think
in the heart.
What do you think's the best one?
3.
Really? I think that and Revelations is tied for me a little bit.
Oh wait, excuse me,
dude.
sorry,
Revelations, that song, and just him taking down.
Actually,
all the
Revelations, and then probably 3 follow up. I love when like it's whatever. I think it's Battle of
Bunker Hill, or so, yeah.
Bunker Hill. Bunker Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like Connor just goes past the troops and like ride the horse in. And he's fucking.
And the guy's like fire, like yeah. No, it
and
is
then
awesome.
he kills the dude. And he makes contact with the Templar who's cut from the game. That guy's not in the game.
He is cut. Oh, I didn't know that,
he's not in the game. And he looks at him and they make eye contact and he kind of like fucking like
he disappears into the crowd.
He
and
does
he comes
the assassin
up,
thing,
and then he freeze frames on him. Oh,
and then
dude.
George Washington like sees him and he's like.
Good things. Yes.
Yeah, I am George Washington.
Yeah, yeah, and then he kills him, and then he's like sitting on the ground, and he pulls over his coat, and there's the Templar badge.
Yeah,
it is amazing. Those trailers are so good.
Like the Revelations thing when he's fighting and he sees like he's in Masyaf and he sees Altair like walk by. Like it's kind of like this like
dude, it's so good.
Like that.
It's a full circle
trilogy.
moment.
That.
Well, Ezio's trilogy, but also
the Desmond arc is like coming to an end.
Yeah.
And, like Revelations, it really like hits home with that, and then 3 even more so.
For sure. Yeah, I do think these games kind of lost something when we lost like our compelling main character in the beginning.
And I kind of say that in the video essay. Like as soon as you lose Desmond, you lose this tie to the present day that grounded the story and made it good.
And I almost going back, I did like how they did the present day stuff in 4, where you kind of worked at Abstergo, and like all that stuff, and you were like going through things.
It's definitely like not a terrible substitute.
No.
But like they needed to introduce somebody else.
And then even like Unity, like you're just someone playing like an Animus, and then the assassins just contact this random person like, "Hey, assassin, do you want to be part of the assassins?"
You're in Unity. You are a hacker, right? And
I guess
and you become an initiate.
See, from replaying it again, I didn't get that at all.
Who fucking cares? Like who fucking cares? Like it's really
yeah. And I guess
really who fucking cares?
To me, it's almost like don't even include that anymore. Then just go full pass.
And that's what I don't like.
And I think that's. I guess I do.
I think that's what they're doing, dude.
Well, I mean, Layla's still a big part of. She's a big part of Odyssey. Like if you didn't even play Odyssey, Gooch.
Is she even like from what I've seen? It's just like it doesn't seem like she fucking matters.
I mean.
Like she's there.
No, I get what you mean. Like in the way of like where Desmond literally had to like save the universe, like the world. No,
right,
not
but
in that way. But like,
is William Miles in Odyssey a lot?
No. I don't
fucking
think so.
Lame. Because guess what? He shows up at the end of Origins, and you think, we're coming back, baby.
Yeah, it was weird because he just shows up and he's like, all right, you're coming with me. She's like, okay, interesting. But
so what is she doing in Odyssey?
In Odyssey, she is trying to.
I know she meets with spoilers, Cassandra and Slash. What's the other? It begins with an A.
Help me, Penza, if you're still in here. No, not Atreus. It's
okay.
Anyways,
male counterparts.
Again, yeah,
Cassandra.
like
clearly Cassandra's the better one, from what I've heard.
Well, I played as Cassandra just because we didn't have like a lot of like female leads, I guess. So I thought that would be interesting to get kind of that perspective. But anyways, I guess. I want to go back to Assassin's Creed 2. I want to start this off.
Yeah,
we're bouncing around. It's how it is. Assassin's Creed 2. I started replaying that. I'm like, whoa.
The remaster?
It's tough. The remaster. Yes. So I got the remaster.
I'm sorry for that.
Dude, the people look.
That port is terrible.
Dude, it looks so weird. Like I'm like, I feel like some of these people look worse.
Yeah.
Some of them look pretty good. Some of them look like dog shit. And it's just so odd.
I don't think Ubisoft really understands how to port a game.
No, I don't think so either.
They've never really done it successfully.
Something I think they could fucking sell mounds of, and I mean
or
piles of,
game, I should say.
Would be a remake of AC2 and like a Unity engine.
A remake of AC1.
No, that actually even so. Yeah,
I think if any game needs to be remade, it's Assassin's
I would think
Creed
that was
1.
fair. Yeah.
I just feel like that game is old enough and is like really like just like this game is just like. Kind of unplayable.
Yeah,
it's good, but like it hasn't aged well.
And even like so, Assassin's Creed 2, The movement's pretty stilted. God, I forgot how much I hated when the fucking thing jumped the wrong way. When you're trying to jump this way, and it's just like, nah, see you later.
Yeah, you're like, and because it's so like I don't want to say stiff, but like
it is.
You don't just like move.
It's not that
jump,
fluid.
Like you go this way or that way or this way.
Yeah, there's no in between, and I just killed myself. So I'm like, wow, this is bringing back so many memories. And I did just find throughout that story that I was like, man, the story is so good in this.
Right.
I don't care. And it's
don't
still
care
good.
what?
Don't care that the mechanics have aged this poorly.
Oh, okay.
And like it's still playable in that way. And I do find that I miss that focus on parkour a lot, especially as I got through these games a little bit more, especially getting into like Unity and stuff.
Well, I guess here's the thing. When you make an open world game, there's only so much you can do.
No, that's true.
Like, that's a good point. I actually haven't thought about. It makes a lot of fucking sense that, Odyssey and Origins probably don't have that much of a focus on it because it's an open world game, and how can you?
I do think they do an all right enough job, and I do love how in that game I look at, and it's like the same thing with Zelda. I hear you see a fucking peak, you don't have to find the thing around the valley to get up there like in a Skyrim or something, or just shimmy your way up the side. I can just climb that fucking rock face and get up there, and I think that's really good. But they kind of really started to go deeper into that as they went into like Unity and Syndicate especially, and it does suck to see that kind of go throughout the game. But another thing they try to have you do in AC2 that is just they don't give you the tools for is play stealthily. Like it's like
no,
they
don't,
and it's weird. Looking back, I'm like they want you to be an assassin, but like you're kind of just walking around, and like if the guard sees you, it's just an immediate fuck up.
One of the points I had with Unity was they kind of presented this idea where like you could build your character around a play style, and that's just not true.
Yeah.
But on paper, it works. Like the way they present it, and like they were talking about it before it came out, was like, like you can use the axe, and you're more combat focused, and your armor, and you can take more damage, but then you can go the stealthy route. And it's just like, no, you can never really go stealth. Like really, like is what AC stealth was.
But even like in Unity, because I think that has the best stealth from playing all these.
You said Unity.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I'm sorry, I must have misspoke. I think Unity does. I mean, in Origins and stuff.
Oh, okay.
No. Hold, you're
You
mixing up my
meant
brain.
Origin stealth isn't as good.
No, I meant Assassin's Creed 2 stealth sucks. That's what I was talking.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No. I'm bouncing back and forth in my head. It's just like they want you to do this, but they don't give you the greatest of tools. And obviously, they were kind of hampered by their time. But the most insane thing that I saw was the jump in quality between AC2 and AC Brotherhood. Like it was in graphics and in just how the game played and felt and things like that. It almost felt like they were like, all right, let's finish up Assassin's Creed 2, but we're gonna put out the most polished game we can with Brotherhood, and they really did. Like it's this weird jump, especially in the graphics of the face and all that stuff, and maybe that was just because the remaster was so weird for AC2.
With the whole Ezio trilogy, Desmond looks different in every single game.
He looks so weirdly different.
It's kind of weird,
especially in Revelations. It's weird.
Yeah, he goes from like AC2, he looks normal. I think Brotherhood, he looks still pretty normal.
Yeah, he does.
And then in Revelation, he gets chunkier.
Yeah.
And then in 3, he kind of looks like a totally different human being.
Yeah. And it's funny, and like they just leave the Lucy thing completely out there unless
what.
No,
Lucy it's a DLC.
No, I mean unless you play the DLC, which I thought was kind of a weird thing to omit looking back. And
that DLC is, like even cutscenes could have explained all that.
Exactly, he does mention it like offhandedly during like one of the main missions, like in AC3. He's like, yeah, well, I had to put her down because like something like that.
Jesus.
Yeah, Desmond's a crazy fuck.
That's cold.
But seeing that Ezio trilogy evolve was really cool to play. I gotta admit, like if you're ever bored and you really do want to have kind of a trip down memory lane and you like these games, I think they are playable and they're fun to go through. But I said this in our group chat. I was like, and it goes without saying almost, Ezio has one of the best character arcs in any single franchise that I've ever seen.
I think it's rare you see arcs for characters that really go through like entire lives.
Yeah.
Especially, like not even Metal Gear Solid does it to a degree. I mean, maybe I'm kind of wrong. Ezio's like not like young. I mean, I guess
he's like 20s.
I guess you see him when he's born. Yeah. So maybe I'm bullshitting here. But he's early 20s in that first one, and then he's probably like late 20s. Well, no, a lot of time passes.
I was gonna say I think he's like 30 something or 40 in those games, actually.
In Brotherhood, he has to be in his 30s and 40s. In 2, he has to be 20s and late 20s because that game ends like, there's like a decent amount of time that passes in that game. Especially the last chapter's like it jumps 3 years, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And then in Revelations, he's got to be in his 60s or 50s. And then he dies in the movie.
This doesn't make any sense. Assassin's Creed 2 Discovery 1491 32 at the start of the game.
In 2?
That doesn't make any sense. How old? It says he's in his first memory he visits the doctor. I don't know. He's at least, I think he's 60s in Revelations, though, for sure.
Yeah,
like, he's up there.
Yeah.
But it was just cool to have that moment where he literally talks.
Have you watched Embers?
No, it's on.
It's on YouTube.
Yeah, and it comes with that trilogy.
You should watch.
Yeah, I should give it a watch.
It's kind of weird, and they introduce like a Chinese assassin. Like that story's like whatever, but like Ezio's kind of like. When he dies in that, like he has this like it starts and ends with this like monologue, and it's like really
awesome.
good.
And I assume the same guy who voices him in the game,
Roger Craig Smith.
Yeah. I just think that trilogy is amazing, and I do see, looking back, especially replaying it, why the franchise is still going on. I guess in the way of like, how can you not keep that going? But at the same time,
not to that degree though.
No, I don't. No, it's not. We haven't had that thing of where we're following this person for X amount of games.
Maybe they need to do that.
Maybe they do.
But like I don't think doing it in the time periods they're doing it is appropriate.
Yeah,
they don't seem to like coincide, or maybe I'm totally wrong.
I think Revolutionary France was a really cool place setting wise. And I think Syndicate is even a really good game. Setting wise and stuff like that, but the ending was very
Industrial Revolution London felt too in line with 3 and Unity, because they're all kind of in the same. Wait,
I wouldn't say 3. I would agree with Unity.
Industrial Revolution is.
I thought that was like Victorian London, not Industrial Revolution. I guess that's the same.
Industrial Revolution.
I think that's actually just the same time period. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Late 1800s.
Yeah,
you could probably look it up.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I thought those settings
still feel similar.
No, I hear you.
It's still like it's got the vibe of the city.
It's all It's very European stuff. I will say.
Maybe that's what it is.
I think that's like everyone always talks about how we'd love a Japanese feudal Assassin's Creed. And I do think that would be cool, and I do think that would be an interesting change of setting.
Honestly,
but we're kind of getting that with what's it called now?
In the space we are now, and we have Sekiro and Ghost of Tsushima, I wouldn't touch
No, I
that
agree.
setting.
Yeah.
I think at a time, even though I wasn't about it, it would have made sense. But like Sekiro and Ghost of Tsushima, like they're too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I don't know. You're confusing me.
I think the feudal Japan thing is starting to be like, all right,
a little bit overused.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, we've
Sekiro,
had
like,
we've had Sekiro,
knocker,
Neo.
it didn't knock anyone out of the park, and I'm replaying it, and as soon as I jumped into it, and I go, God, this isn't as good as Dark Souls 3 and Bloodborne. But like that setting, I don't want to see it used a ton.
Sure.
It's weird. I don't like feudal Japan. I don't know why. Don't ask.
Racist? No.
I like a lot of Japanese like games and things, but for some reason
you're not
feudal
about that
Japan
setting.
Just like doesn't like do me anything.
Yeah, I guess I'm having it. I personally fucking loved Origin setting, and I do think that game works much better for me as an Assassin's Creed game than Odyssey.
The only complaint I don't have a complaint with Egypt. Egypt was what I wanted. The time period of ancient Egypt.
Would you rather like really ancient Egypt?
Yes, like the height of ancient Egypt. Like fuck the Greeks. They're not even.
They're not even somewhat there.
It's the Egyptians, the pharaohs.
What time period is that?
It's the high. It's
like how far before like 0 or whatever.
It's a few hundred years, maybe
interesting.
Like 200 or 300.
Okay.
So we're in like the low. Is it the low?
I'm trying to remember when
the
Odyssey
New Kingdom,
is set.
Middle, New Kingdom. I think it's the New Kingdom. I forget. Sometimes I think old and new are switched.
Sure.
But it's the last kingdom of Egypt, so I think it's old, new, middle, or no, old, middle, new.
So Odyssey is set 422 BC. When?
Yeah, it's got to be like 200, or maybe even like less.
Oh, really? So that they came after the Greeks,
or maybe Christ is born. Ancient Egypt.
Amen.
No, it's still BC.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought that was
no,
like
I didn't
1000
I didn't
BC.
mean like 200 AD. I meant 200 BC. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
Or
When
BC, if we're being
was
politically
the
correct, I
height
guess.
of
Before Common Era.
Egyptian civilization? The height was
It's middle,
So
right?
the Egyptian empire rose during the period of the New Kingdom, which was 1570 to 1069 BCE. So the country reached the heights of its wealth.
New is the first. Old, yeah.
God, that is nuts. They were around that long before, like even.
That's what I'm
that,
saying. Yeah. Like there's like the like literal sandbox to play in of that time period. I'm like,
see, that is interesting, but I do think then they would have lost. So in Origins, how do you feel about Origin Story? I guess we did a whole review on it, but like I can't.
We did.
How did you end up feeling with like how they actually set up the assassins like order? Like, 'cause they technically aren't assassins by name at that point, but they are the hidden ones.
I kind of like it at the end, and I kind of don't. See, here's my issue. They're not Templars. The villains, for all intents and purposes, are not Templars.
By name,
they are.
Sure.
I like the name. I like hearing the name.
I appreciate that.
I like
you
hearing
need the name. That's fair.
Templars.
Yeah.
They're Templars. Well, the Templars don't exist yet, so it makes sense. But like the Order, or whatever the fuck they want to call them, and then
the Order of the Ancients.
The assassins, like, well, the hidden ones. We're not assassins.
Well, do you know where the hidden one comes from? In the game, I realized this when I was playing.
Did I forget?
No, I don't know. Like, there's a part in this Origins where like I realized why he calls them the hidden ones, and it's because like he's like a guy, he's like the Lord of the Duat or whatever, like the guy who brings you to death. Yeah, I was like, oh, cool. I really like Bayek. Really, like the more I'm replaying this, I think he's a very
Bayek's
good
story's cool, and it's funny how he is like just as angry as Connor is. Really, you know?
Not even.
Really?
No. Well, he's okay.
He's
angry.
Pretty fucking angry.
He's angry in a different way. Like he is when he is searching down for the people that killed his son.
I guess he's not
but
angry
like, he's
at
not
the
very,
world. Connor's angry at the world.
That's what I'm saying. Like Connor's very. But I guess I kind of skipped over 3. I didn't want to talk about 3 a little bit more. Yeah, we'll jump around.
We're talking about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump back. Yeah.
But no, Connor, I do think he is a little too stoic, and I think that's like Bayek is trying to go and kill these people that killed his son. But he can still find the time to help the people in his village, and he's trying to make the world a better place. But he is still on this blood pack. And whether or not maybe that makes sense to someone, I don't know. But I did find his character a lot more enjoyable to me than Connor. But Connor I didn't hate either. And Connor has a legitimate reason for being that way. Like, right. For sure. And I don't think that that's
like,
wrong.
Knowing that historical time period, and I guess us being Americans, like I'm pretty sure world, I don't know, if you're not from here, I think you have a pretty good understanding that we like wiped out the Native Americans.
Yeah, and a lot of we definitely didn't help them.
Pretty unjustifiably. Yes. And like him being like that, just like why would he not be fucking enraged at white people?
Well, it's not, and I like
you know,
it's the funny the thing that I even like about that.
It makes sense. He should be sour towards all of them for the most part, but he's pretty buddy with George Washington. You know, he doesn't hate them.
Well, no,
it's
and I
just
guess
like
that's
his first impression of all these people is they're fucking like taking my people's land and they're killing my people. I don't like you by default.
For sure. And I actually, one thing I do like about his character is he is stoic and he is kind of a jerk, but he isn't mean by default even to an Englishman. He will go up and like he knows there are shitty people and he knows that there are shitty people everywhere, unfortunately, and he realizes that. But I don't know, I guess I really do think where people lose it with him is he is so serious all the time, and I guess like we said, he should be right, but I guess does that make a good character?
He doesn't
an
have
character to watch.
Ezio's charm, and I think Altair doesn't really have charm.
No, he doesn't.
Altair is on a fucking mission.
You know where they give him charm? In the Revelations.
With Maria?
With Maria, and even like the new voice actor they use in that, they use a completely different one with like an actual like Middle Eastern accent. And like he just... It sounds... He's... like if you go back and watch stuff in the first one, you're like, why is this guy just talking and look like Desmond? Like, shouldn't he like have his own sort of thing?
See, I like that.
No, I guess...
I understand as we go, you know, it'll look a little different, but I like how... Altair was like I guess we could call it the start of his bloodline, and he looked the most like Desmond.
No, he did. Yeah. And even Ezio does too. He really does look a lot like Desmond. No, it was more just like
Desmond. Who's Desmond?
Who's Desmond? I know you're there. Yeah.
You fuck.
You fuck. I don't know. I guess I'm trying to think who my favorite character, and I guess it's Ezio, but I don't know if that's because we spent so much time with him.
I like Ezio the most. Also, him being Italian doesn't helps.
I just love. Pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty good. But I think Altair kind of has this like he started it all kind of thing.
Well,
and,
he was
everything started with him, and like he's the like in a way he's like the truest to like the tenets of the Assassin's Creed, and he is like. He embodies it in a very pure sense,
for sure. And it's funny because he grew up in the he grew up in the Order. He was born in the Order. He didn't have a choice. Like
right.
I gotta admit,
he was in from day one. Whereas every other character besides Arno, and Arno isn't really in the Order.
His
dad just happens to be in the Order.
Well, he does get. I guess he does get inducted.
Plus, the Order is a totally different thing
by
that
then.
point.
Yeah,
like the Order in AC1 is very much like a society.
It's more of an open thing, whereas like he really reforms the assassins into the contemporary ones that we see them using.
Talking
even
about
in the first
Ezio.
One. Yes, no, I'm talking about Altair because he dismantled.
Oh yeah, I guess it does change once Al Mualim. That's how you say his name, right?
Al Mualim.
It's been a while since I've said that.
Al Mualim. I think it's tough.
Al Mualim.
You're right. You're close.
I'm like, it's been a while since I've actually said his name.
Yeah, no, I think they do an amazing job of wrapping up Altair's story that we didn't even know needed wrapping up in Revelations. Like, that's one of my favorite parts, going back through and seeing his, like, 5 memories and, like, seeing him actually pass and you're in the room with him, and then that whole culmination with Ezio and him talking to everyone. It's great. But I'm trying to think. I guess my favorite one would be Ezio, followed by, so far, Bayek. Like, I do enjoy Bayek, especially now that I'm replaying more. Do I think we needed an RPG element where we're talking and we're making choices? No, I kind of think I like the more cinematic. Odyssey? Yeah. I like the more cinematic, you're just trying to tell me a story aspect of Origins. Whereas...
And that's kind of my thing. Assassin's Creed to me is I am playing through somebody's life, and this person isn't influenced by what I think. Yeah. And that's kind of the thing. Like, the more they decide to go this player choice route, the more like your interactions are invalidated as canon. Sure. And we don't know what they're doing with like what is Cassandra and male Cassandra. What is their title? Do they have a title?
They're the keeper. So one of them becomes the holder of Hephaestus's staff, which keeps them alive forever. I think they're called. It's not the keeper, but it's something like that. The keeper of the staff. So like, how are they addressed henceforth? You know, they're not bringing over your save. They don't know who you picked. Yeah, because so how does that work? I think you just decide. Apparently, in Valhalla, they have a narrative reason as to why they're both canon. Because they're both. I mean, they're both the same name, right? Yeah, but I don't know if that's necessarily like they both the female and male. Ivor, something like that. Ivor. I think Ivor. I don't know. Anyways, I'm just throwing shit out there. Yeah, I do think there is something to be said that we don't necessarily need that, but I do think it's not been unsuccessful, and I do think these games do need to grow, and if they don't, grow and change, and if they don't, they are going to get left behind. But necessarily growing in the ways that they did, I don't love. I don't really have like the solution as like how could we have kept AC more in line with what it was and made it better? Because like I guess by AC3 and AC4, like there's this staleness to it. Because like, but like I don't know, I still enjoyed it. You know what I think they probably should have done after AC3? What? Let it rest. For like 2 or 3 years. 100%. Maybe they should have. Yeah, like I really do think they could have done something where they let it rest for 2 years. They really put their nose to the grindstone, try and make a really cool, different game. I guess like I don't think Black Flag was like the set. Well, maybe the setting was kind of rehashed in a way, somewhat. Yeah, but technological time period wise, yes. Pirates, no. Like I think that was fine, but like just the way in which they went was just kind of weird. They were almost trying to come up with a new, and I hate using this word, gimmick for each one that's like, well, this new thing's getting you in. Like, I thought I'm trying to remember, like, when I saw, they took 2 years off before Origins, right? Was that the one that they... Because it was Syndicate,
Yes,
and then I think they were like, we're taking a break for a
came
while.
Out, and then Syndicate didn't do well, and well, I mean,
It got reviewed well, but
Syndicate
it didn't do well commercially.
Baby steps. It was okay, but like it didn't really, sell like hotcakes.
Sure.
And and then Yves Guillemot came out, and they were like, yeah, we're taking 2 years off, and we're like, yes.
Yeah, do that.
And then they came out with Origins, and I was like, we were like, yes.
Yeah.
And then it came out, and I was like, yes. And then I finished the game, and I was like, no.
So I guess like the thing that doesn't bother me with the game in the way of like, I get that the names are big, but like the themes are still there of like these guys are fighting for freedom and the others are fighting for control. And I guess they might not be the same name to me, but I feel that they still do explore the same things.
See, that matters a lot to me. I don't know why, but like the fact, like if I don't know, it just makes them seem more villainous because I feel like as we've gone, as we're not calling them Templars, they're just like bad dudes.
You need that organization name behind it,
right? Like there's something about Rodrigo Borges' like crew in 2 that like really sets up like these the Templars, man. Well, even in 1.
Well, yeah,
even in
you wouldn't
3.
go through, but it like 3.
You got your whole fucking like Charles Lee and like all those fuckers
I will say I didn't care nearly as much about 3's like extra people as much as I did about or supporting characters as much as I did about 2. I think 2 did the best job of building up all these people you're seeing over the game, and you're like, oh, these are all assassins that have been training me my whole life, and then you've been taking out all these Templars the whole time. I think that does a really good job of kind of bringing it together and making it an interesting story. Whereas, yeah, I think I do think there is something to the name, but I get it just doesn't have as much of a weighing on me. Would I like to see them be called assassins and Templars again? Sure, but they're not. Apparently, they're not even assassins yet in Valhalla. They're still the hidden ones. And that's
right, and why the
that's
fuck is the hidden blade
years.
up here? It's backwards, guys. It's down here.
Hey, fuckheads! No,
and then when I saw that, I was like, oh.
What?
I was so annoyed.
I mean, it's on the top of his hand in Odyssey. The first guy who creates it, I can't remember his name, but that's how it's like first made. But then there's even in Origins, they break a canon thing where he uses it. He should have to cut off his fucking finger.
He does.
No,
in
does
Origins. Yeah.
Did I skip that by accident?
The bath scene.
She cuts off his finger?
He cuts it off when he uses it the first time.
When he actually...
Aya gives it to him. He puts it on. He hasn't used it yet. He kills the guy in the bath, and he uses it and he cuts his finger off when he stabs him.
That's not right when she gives you it, which is interesting. I just got the hidden blade. I think that happens when you use it to kill the first guy. Unless I skipped the cutscene. But I think you're right, actually, because that sounds familiar.
She gives it to you. You immediately go on that assassination mission, and you don't kill anyone until you drop down on the dude in the bath.
So I'm just trying to work it in my mind. I'm just trying to because I found her in the temple for the first time in Alexandria, and I jumped through the tower,
right?
And I went in, and she gives me a bath and shaves my head because she's my wife, and then she sends me off to kill Ganarios and the snake. I think when you go to kill the snake is when you cut your finger off by accident. Yeah. Because you have to, but when you first use it, when she hands it to you, she's like, because you're about to do it, and she's like, hey. And then she puts your arm back, and then it comes out, and it doesn't cut your finger off. I just did this today.
Well, yeah, because he moves it.
Exactly. No, you're right. But I just remember that.
He's in the moment, and he just fucking and he doesn't opens his hand up, and it cuts his finger off.
I forgot about that, but I just ruined that part for me. I'm gonna get to it soon. I know. Origins, I do think they do a really cool job of setting up the assassins, but I will give it to you in the way.
Wait. Oh yeah, it's before.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
Valhalla.
Yeah, that's way before. Valhalla's set 200 or 300 years before.
Right. I know.
Assassin's Creed 1.
I know the guy who makes the a hidden blade kills Xerxes, right?
It was used to kill Xerxes, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she said. She's like, it's an ancient weapon that was used to kill the tyrant Xerxes.
That's something they establish in 2, and I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
That plot thread.
And Aya's, what's her name, right? Nox on the Moon. A Nox on the Moon! Anyways, getting my... That is a great movie.
Right, Amunet?
Oh, it is Amunet. Yeah, because she kills. She's like the first.
Fucking
Anyways, yeah. It's a great reference. If you
I
haven't seen
need
it.
to rewatch this.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Knocks in the moon.
A knocks in the moon.
He gets stabbed or whatever.
Yeah, right in the stomach. Again, like no, I'm not gonna go off on a mummy tangent.
Great movie.
Great movie, fantastic.
Peak Brendan Fraser.
Peak, the peak. What else? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there is that kind of loss in that between period, and replaying them has shown that to me a lot. And even in like Unity and Syndicate, while mechanically I think those are some of the most top tier Assassin's Creed games, story wise it just falls like it really does nothing for me. And it's not even necessarily because I think maybe it is because they're just written poorly, or like they're just not that interesting of characters.
Which ones are we talking about?
A Syndicate and Unity.
Okay, thank you.
Like I think they are.
Yeah, they're shit.
Well, like mechanically, they're the best.
Dude, in AC Unity, like it starts off on a fucking awesome note. Jacques de Mollier, the real leader of the Templars.
Yeah.
Like,
The Templars, yeah.
The Templars.
Yeah.
The Knights Templars.
Yeah.
And
then just forward, yeah, and then you're just Arno.
I would have loved to seen an Assassin's Creed game take place in like another medieval one. Like
I think so
Jacques
too.
de Mollier is. Yeah, I guess he's alive during the Crusades. I'm curious how many years before AC won that sequence is.
We'd have to dig. But yeah, I do think so too. I think a more medieval setting will do better.
Maybe it's after.
I think
Anyway.
we are gonna get some medieval setting in Valhalla. Like we are going to be going to like castles. It's gonna be Ireland,
but,
Greater
like,
Britain, and like
You're Vikings. It doesn't count.
Your fight. That makes these
fucking
buildings
Vikings.
not exist. I do think Vikings
It's
was
not the same vibe.
It was like an interesting way to go. It's funny because everyone I talk to about it, like my friends that aren't the biggest video game people, are like, "Yo, did you see that Valhalla trailer? Like, let's go." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I guess people like want to see, and like I am excited. I'm gonna play it. I think it looks interesting. But again, I think it's been very telling to go back through these games and see how they have evolved, and just to kind of get that feeling for it, and where that the story stuff kind of had dipped, where mechanically it really shined, and it has its highs and its lows. But I don't know, what's one of your favorite moments in the whole franchise? I mean, I gotta say, it's
a
easily
tall order.
Well, I know. I feel like the tops for me though, what did it a second time for me. I even remember in the moment was the end of Assassin's Creed 2.
I was I was literally just thinking the end
Like
of
that
Desmond.
when Minerva
Who's
comes.
Desmond?
Yeah, Desmond. Who is Desmond? Like just the first civilization coming out, and they're dropping all these bombs on you, like knowledge bombs, and you're just like, there were
What
people
the
before,
fuck?
and then there was the whole thing with like
Adam
the
and
symbols
Eve.
and like it was nuts.
Clay and Subject 16.
I don't think I've really had another thing hit on that level for me.
I
think about it.
I think it's all those moments. Like I'm trying to think of Assassin's Creed 3 where there's a moment like that, but I really think it's all within Juan and Ezio's trilogy where like those are the hard hitting games.
Yeah.
When Ezio goes to Masyaf at the end and like, he has that scene.
It's too good. And even there is the one part in AC3 where you're kind of going through, you're in that temple and you're walking through, and Jupiter's basically showing you all the different things they tried to save the universe, which was kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, with Aito.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
You mean Juno? You
I'm
said
sorry, not Jupiter. Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
Is that the same god in a different thing? I don't know.
Jupiter is a Roman god who, in Greek, it would translate a little differently, but
Gotcha.
But is Jupiter Zeus?
I feel like he might be.
I feel like he is. I could be wrong. Anyway, I mean, we talked a little bit about Black Flag. It's kind of hard to like say much. It's kind of a lot like 3, and again, like it just kind of it's that start of that decline for me.
Yeah.
The ship combat is awesome. One of the things
It
I've
is.
pointed out in my video essays, like that game like sparked a lot of other games to do like pirates and ship combat, and
Definitely.
like the Skull and Bones, which isn't out yet, which we won't see at E3 this year because there's no E3 this year. Sad face.
And I find Edward's a fun character to watch, but
You know who voices him?
what's his name?
Constantine.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Interesting.
Until like maybe like last year, I was like, oh, it's what's his name? Matt Stone.
Yeah, and you know what is another thing I found? Your like first mate in Assassin's Creed 3 is the guy from Pirates of the Caribbean, the first mate, like Johnny Depp's friend.
I think I knew that.
I didn't know that. It was pretty good. I was like, this is. I was like, this sounds
What's his
like.
name?
I can't remember, but it's
Yeah,
like the
I
old
remember.
man that he. Yeah, and yeah.
The Jack? No, not the Jackdaw. Is
Yeah,
it the Jackdaw?
I think it's the Jackdaw. No, the Jackdaw is
Edward's
Edward's
ship.
yeah.
What is the ship? The Aquila, right?
No.
The Aquila?
The Aquila.
Aquila?
That's Assassin's Creed 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm
his,
saying.
Oh, I thought you were saying yeah.
What's
the
AC3
Aquila
ship?
Yeah, the Aquila. Oh man,
Because he yells it.
Aquila. One thing that was also interesting seeing throughout all these games, the Aquila, was the different like ways they set up the economy, like your player like how you'd like in say AC2 you'd have Monteriggioni, and Brotherhood you just fixed up Rome, and Revelations it was Constantinople, and then I didn't really, and I thought that was all pretty easy to get my head around, but then I was playing AC3 again, and that one like you have to like craft things and like send out all these wagon caravans. I'm like, whoa,
I don't remember any of that.
dude. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I was like, nah, I'm just gonna keep playing through.
I remember doing a lot of some ship stuff on the app for AC4. And there, yeah, you send out like ships to like do deliveries or some shit, right?
Yeah, something like that. I don't. Yeah, I just was very confused, and I was like, yeah, forget it.
Yeah, and I guess as we go, it's just kind of like AC, just kind of like less and less. Like I just start to dislike it with each game. I'm like, they still don't care about the present day story too much. It's like, yep, and they still really don't.
I get you on that one, but you are in the minority on that one. You know that, right?
I know that.
I get that.
And take away the Assassins and the Templars. It's not Assassin's Creed anymore. It's just a history simulator. Like I know it's kind of,
but
like
I get what you're
very
saying.
like low sounding, but like Assassin's Creed, like without the title, it's not really Assassin's Creed. It's
but
like,
it is.
But it's
like
not.
I mean, because I just the gameplay has evolved, and the names of the exact orders aren't there. But I don't think it's evolved to a state of, if you put Assassin's Creed, or maybe Odyssey, I think would be tougher. I can give you that one for sure. But Origins, you put that in front of me and you didn't tell me what game this was, I'd be like, is this an Assassin's Creed game? Like, I would.
Okay, fine.
But Origins, but this Odyssey, I do think I would have a little bit harder of a time. Maybe if you put a hood on her, I'd be like, Assassin's Creed.
Right, but even with the new dude, it's just like they're still like they're really getting away from the garb, and like even the hidden blade, it just seems so unstealthy. Like even the way he uses it, like
why
he
did it seem
blocks some dude and
unstealthy?
he just puts it in his face.
You couldn't even see it when he was making the thing. You were saying, "Where's this hidden blade?" And we're like, "Well, it's hidden." And then I thought it was plenty hidden.
No, I was looking for the bracer.
I gotcha.
They always have a bracer.
Yeah. I guess
and like like the way they introduce it is not like, I don't know, he like goes up behind somebody and just fucks him up.
Sure.
Like, but like he's fighting somebody, and like I understand like in AC 2 and 3, like you can use the hidden blade non-stealthily, but like that's the main, like that's the crux of the weapon is it's a stealth weapon, and they get away with it with Origins. Like it's a stealth weapon, but like it's hard to like be stealthy in Origins, and that was like one of my complaints in the beginning. I remember, and I was just like, it's really hard to just like stealth through all of this. Like I like how they're bringing back Assassins, the hidden blade being a one-shot kill. It should be a one-shot kill. If I fucking put a blade in your neck, you're dead.
Yeah, no,
sorry.
It's funny because you were describing something to me earlier, which is how I feel like these games should be. And I've said this before. Give me the option that, okay, I can either be a stealth maniac or I can be a berserker. I don't want to be in between. If I decide to commit to this skill tree as a berserker, I can't sneak for shit, but I can take on anyone if I'm going head on with them. If I'm a sneaker,
what are the skill trees in Odyssey?
Odyssey, there's like your archery stuff, your fighting stuff, and your stealth stuff.
Okay. And what if you're a sneaker?
I guess in like you can.
What if you're a shoe?
What if I'm a shoe? Well, then you just gotta chill, man. I don't know. I just would love it. So I don't think it's that hard to sneak in Origins, to be frank, especially playing it these past couple days. And they make it much harder in Odyssey to stay hidden, because like your hidden blade doesn't even one-shot kill people, and then you have to like save up your aura.
Excuse me, it's a fucking spear of Leonidas.
Yeah,
it's not
that's
a hidden
true.
blade.
Well, you do get one. In the DLC.
Yeah, in paid DLC.
any who's you what's it's, I would love for them to be able to commit to where, like, if I can be, I'm the stealthiest motherfucker, but if I get seen, I'm dead. But if I'm a fucking brawler, I can't stealth. Like, make me commit. Like, it seemed like they might have been trying to do in Unity, but they didn't. Like, it was just like, you can kind of change your aesthetics and stuff like that.
You know, yeah, Assassin's Creed would have to make some big changes for me to go back. I think I'm, like, Valhalla, like, Odyssey was my first, like, step away, but I think, like, Valhalla, it's like, yeah, they're committing to this. Yeah.
So there was, I saw this one rumor,
which is kind of shitty, but...
No, I hear you. And that does suck to hear.
Yeah.
But I saw this one rumor, it was way back, and it was only from one website, so I don't know how very serious we can take it, but there was another Assassin's Creed rumor called Counterculture. It was supposed to be set in the 60s, and it was supposed to be more along the lines of old ACs, not as much of like an RPG, and like you were going to play as like a brother and sister, and like you would have a pistol and your hidden blade, and like it sounded like the weirdest game ever to me, and it was like set during, I think, the 60s or something like that.
I think if Assassin's Creed was in modern day times and like everyone was using guns, but you still had a hidden blade, I think that'd be pretty cool.
No, I think it'd be cool too. And like if they did focus on that stealth stuff and make it interesting, I think they could have done a World War II one. I think that would have been pretty interesting.
That would have been cool.
They kind of did in Syndicate. There's like that little extra portion where you'd set during World War II. You see, you meet Churchill and stuff like that. But Gooch, I think that about wraps up my ramblings. I don't know if you have anything else.
I think that's pretty much it. I think we've talked a lot, kind of went over the series as a whole.
For sure.
About the gripes. Check out my video essay.
Yeah, definitely.
What's
which
YouTube channel?
Yeah,
it's Ragucci 25. It's my personal one.
Well, go check that out, guys. And just want to say thank you all so much for watching today. You can find us on YouTube as well as most podcast services. If you want to search this podcast, just go by name. You can drop us a review on all our socials and all the podcasts if you'd like. That helps us out a lot. We're at Delco Nerds on all your favorite social media things. Come check us out. Just search Delco Nerd Network on Facebook. We also have a website where all this information can be found, DelcoNerdNetwork.com. So for Gooch, I've been Trio. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay nerdy, and we will see you next time.